Hey, it's Mindful Monday. Listen, guys, I'm struggling with uploading my Mindful Mondays episodes on my social media handles. I don't know what's happening. I've checked my settings. I just don't know how this is happening. I'm using the same device to record, but it's always the case. So I've been coming to you late, and I don't know if this is going to be uploaded in time, but whatever it is, I'm here and I'll do my best to upload it as soon as I can. If not, I'll change stuff a bit moving forward, but I'll let you know what's happening. But yes, another Monday to share my Mindful Monday thoughts with you. I've had a very interesting week last week on Thursday, and one of those days that happens in your life that causes you to stop and go like, what just happened? What was that? Now, that's the kind of day I had on Thursday, but that incident happened to get me to reconsider my judgmental view of the parable of the Good Samaritan in the Bible. You know how we read the story of the Good Samaritan and we tend to express our dismay at the priest and the Levites that passed on, like that walked away from the wounded man until the Good Samaritan came by. Let me ask you this. Do you think that was very bad for them to have done that? Do you think they could have done better? Do you think they were not feeling sorry for the wounded man? I know I think that sometimes when I read that scripture. But do you think they were not feeling sorry? I bet they did. I bet they did. But this is what I think. I think that they were in a hurry. They were just busy. Too busy that they couldn't stop. They couldn't help. They were busy so much so that they couldn't just go the long way with a wounded man, picking him up, dressing him up, healing his wounds, giving him some paracetamol. That was time consuming. But hey, that is love for you. Love is painfully time consuming, especially when it has to do with loving wounded people. Think about it. But the thing is, love and hurry, love and busyness, they are simply incompatible. Now, last Thursday, I almost became one of either the priest or the Levites, whichever you put me in, but passing by a wounded person in a Samaritan story. And let me tell you the story. So I met this man. I hope I can be quick enough about it, but I met this man in a shopping center, and the man it was quite early in the morning, about 9ish, because I had just done school runs. And the man looked a bit rough, had a cup of coffee in his hand, and when I first saw him, he was bent over a bin, communal bin like that. I remember noticing that. I was like, ooh, a bin this early morning, like what could be happening? And anyway, I walked on to the shop. I stayed in the shop between 45 minutes to 50 minutes, a bit less than an hour. And I came out. He wasn't on the bin, bent over on the bin this time. But as I went to sit in my car, he was sitting in front of the car, just a little further, which we could talk if we needed to talk. And I was getting in the car. And out of guilt of just moving away, I just went like, you okay? And it was raining, not raining heavily, not drizzling either. So in between, where should you sit in about 2-minute tops, you could be soaking wet. And he was pretty soaked. So I did ask, are you okay? You all right? And he said, no. I was like, what's the matter? And he started talking. God's honest truth, I wasn't listening. I was listening, but I wasn't taking the information in. Not proper, effective, genuine listening is what I'm trying to say. So I heard a few things. I had stomach, I had Portugal, I had flight. I couldn't make sense of those, but I was too much in a hurry to stop and hear exactly what he was saying. So I was like, oh, okay, is there anything I can do for you? He's like, no, 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 I'm all right. I was like, are you going to be all right? He said, yeah, I'm waiting for a taxi. I said, okay. All right, you look after yourself. And I got in the car. But whilst I was putting the strap on, I just felt, Cheska, you can do better than that. You are better than this. You better get out of that car. So I kind of gradually got out of the car with one leg in the car, one leg standing out, and my hand on the door. And I was like, are you sure you're okay? I can give you a lift, you know. And this man said, oh, no, 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 I'm all right. I'm in pain, but I'm waiting for a taxi. My taxi could be here anytime soon. But thank you very much, because you are the only person who has asked me how I'm doing. I've been here for over an hour, which was true. And people have just been passing by giving me funny looks. I bet they assume I'm a drunkard, a drunk person, homeless person, this early morning already drunk, sitting here. And so they all pass by. You are the only person who has asked me I'm okay, and I'm grateful. Guys, that was like, I don't know the word to put, like the guilt I felt for not even listening to him and wanting to pass by. And I felt a lump in my throat, like, you mean this man has been sitting here? First, I saw him bent over. I don't know how long he was there before I got there. And now sitting soaked. And nobody asked him, how are you? Or what's happening with you? So just to diffuse how I was feeling emotionally, I was like, oh, if you put it that way, then I might as well join you. Let's get soaked together. So I went over and I sat with this man. And the man started telling me his story, the pain he's in, what's brought him that pain, what happened in Portugal, what happened on that flight, the amount of surgeries he's gone through. And gosh, his story was horrendous. It was terrible. And I got so much wisdom, so many revelations from what the man was telling me, and of life, you know, and how we have to appreciate life as it comes. I learned so much, like the reality just hit me there, and I got the opportunity to tell him about Jesus as well. Anyway, we couldn't do phone because I took his phone. It was one of these old flip phones, and I couldn't find my way around it. I dialed my number. I didn't know where to save. I was still doing it when his taxi turned up. So he said, he just took the phone on me. He was like, you've already dialed it, so I'll be able to get in touch. And he walked away. Guys, I was in a hurry. But after the man left, I couldn't move my car. I just sat in the car, reflecting on what just happened. And I thought, seriously, I was actually going to walk away. Walk away. Listen, life is super busy these days. And our world has sped up to such a frenetic pace, so much that empathy has become a very rare feeling for most of us. We just don't have time for it. We don't have time. I mean, we can sympathize like I did earlier. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Oh, I'm so sorry for what you're going through. Oh, I'm so sorry for the pain. But in terms of empathizing with the person, sitting with the person, sitting in the person's frame of reference, sitting, feeling their pain, where you share in their pain, you share in their journey. I think that's too costly for us. We have become this society that we have no time for non-speedy people. We are too hard on ourselves or too hard on others when it takes a few attempts for them to get it. We are busy. And as I sat in that car reflecting on what just happened, the question I asked myself was, what if busyness isn't healthy? What if this pathological busyness is wreaking havoc on our souls, wreaking havoc on our relationships? Thinking of the goodness that I experienced, the wisdom that I took off this man in that moment, and how much I would have missed out on the reality of what is important in life. had I gone away without being interested? Guys, life is busy. The thing is, life would always give us reasons to be busy. Just think about it. When you were in college, you were super busy. You got married or you got into your adult stage, you've still been busy. Young parents, our kids very young, we are busy. Should you ask those parents, the empty nesters who have their kids left home and all that, they're going to tell you how busy they are as well. CEOs are busy, entrepreneurs are busy, full-time workers are busy, part-time workers are busy. We are all busy. So tell me, is there ever going to be a stage in our lives that we can afford not to be busy if we don't get intentional about this now? At what stage do you really think that you will be able to slow down? We all will be able to slow down and simplify our lives around what matters. I look at myself and I'm so busy. But busy doing what? Busy doing what, Cheska? What exactly? The scary part is, I know that this busyness is a distraction. This busyness is an addiction. But as to knowing what is important and living our lives around what is important, now we are too busy even for that. And for some of us, we can't even afford not to do anything. We are afraid to do nothing because busy is what we now consider as being productive. But you know what? Doing nothing is sometimes necessary. Sometimes you need to do nothing. Just stop and let your body catch up with your soul. Sometimes you need to do nothing so that you can hear your soul cry out, Cheska, slow down, slow down. Cheska, breathe. Cheska, breathe. And come back to the moment. Come back to what is important. Center your life, revolve your life around what is important in life. When I think of the man Jesus, a whole Jesus, and his life on earth, I am struck by how fiercely present this man was. Nothing could rush him, not even the news of a dying Lazarus, or that man who came and said, my daughter is dying. Remember, it was when he was going to heal that girl that the woman with the issue of blood touched him. And this man Jesus was so present that he could feel the touch and stop and say, who touched me? Who touched me? And spent all the time in the world with this woman. He was not in any rush. And I'm telling you, I was too busy in a hurry. I almost passed by this man. Just imagine a whole Jesus meeting this man and say, hey, I've got a flight to catch, or I've got to go to work, so I won't be able to heal your tummy right now, but I could get one of my assistants to help you. You look after yourself sitting in that rain. Walking away from this busy life is not going to be easy. No, I'm not saying it's going to be a walk in the park, but I personally have a sneaking suspicion that there might be a better way to be human. There might be a better way of relating to each other. There might be a better way of pausing so that we can hear somebody else's pain. And if we can be mindful of it, and we can be intentional of getting off that hurry train, I think in time we can detox. We can slow down. In my line of work, I come across people all the time who are hurting, who have a whole lot of things going on in their lives. And they don't need any solution. The solution is already lying within them. All they need is somebody to sit with them and hear what they have to say, pour out their pain as it is to them. I never have to give an advice. I never have to give an opinion. But guess what? By the time the person finishes talking, telling their truth, they themselves gain the strength to then dig themselves out of the pits that they find themselves in. And every day when I work with people, and I realized that all it needed was a bit of my time to hear what they are going through, to give them room to speak. And that brings healing. I think we can make time. Whilst we wait in line to leave this earth, we can make time. If you and I can be genuinely mindful, if we can be mindful of and admit what exactly is making us busy, and slow down the pace at which we think, slow down the pace at which we do things, slow down, deal with that hurry in our souls, deal with the panic of not being busy, and appreciate every moment. You would realize that there are so many people around you that you could be of great blessing to in ways you could never ever think of possible. And all it takes is being mindful, a little bit of intentionality in reaching out, in practicing being present to them. So let us be mindful. Let us be intentional in making every moment count, in making our priorities count, in making time for our gift, in making time for our talent. Let us be intentional in looking around us and looking at that person who feels like a nobody. A little minute to make them feel like somebody. A little text message to tell somebody, you mean so much to me. I love you. You're very important to me. It takes time. And it's time that we don't have. Just making time, making an effort to let somebody smile. Now that's something we can do. That's another way we can deal with this hurry in our souls. Sometimes you might be talking to somebody's going through something. You don't need to understand what they are going through. You don't need to understand their pain. You don't need to have experienced it. But whilst you don't understand, if you can educate yourself to help you understand what you're hearing, I think you will be able to empathize with them. So this week, let's get mindful of our schedule. Let's make time to not cross over that road because we are in a hurry like I would have done, or like the Levite and the priest did in the Bible. But to reach out to somebody and tell them, I'm not leaving you in this mess. I'm not leaving you in the mess that you found yourself in. Tell them, you are God's property. You are God's territory. And I'm not giving up on you, because at the end of the day, we all get to spend eternity together. And that's the goal. So yes, let's be mindful this week of getting off that hurry train and make time for something and for what is important and who is important. Do you think you can do that? I bet you can. So have a mindful Monday, and I'll catch you soon. Bye. Love you.